It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's a guy who ate a plane. The gut of steel, we'll call him. He is not your average crime-fighting superhero, and neither are any of the people on this list. Instead, they belong to a lead of extraordinary Homo sapien superiors that were born with rare and unusual abilities that may one day land them in a super crime-fighting team of heroes. Or they may all decide to be evil super squad and take over the world. It could go either way, but we're really hoping it's the first one. You can become part of the League of Extraordinary videos by subscribing. We've turned on our red subscribe signal to make it easy for you. Usain Bolt, fastest man alive. While he may not be faster than a speeding bullet, Usain Bolt holds the 100-meter men's world record at 9.58 seconds, making him the fastest man alive. He is the only person to win the Olympic 100-meter 3 times, which he accomplished at 3 consecutive games. He also holds the record in the 200-meter and the 100-meter relay. Usain, nicknamed Lightning Bolt, first fell in love with sprinting during primary school, and at age 12, he was the fastest runner in the local school's 100-meter events. He continued to train and compete in track events during high school, and in 2004 began his professional athletic career. Although many have said his 6'5" frame makes him too tall to be as fast as he is, the ACTN3's sprinting gene may be partly responsible for his lightning-fast speed. Fast twitch muscle fibers, which are boosted by the ACTN3, provide the explosive power boost necessary for rapid acceleration. Studies have found that 75% of Jamaicans carry this gene, compared to 70% of U.S. international standard athletes. Researchers suggest that the aluminum-rich soil of Jamaica, where Usain was born and raised, increases the activity of this gene. We wonder how Mr. Lightning Bolt would do against the Flash. Considering Bolt is hoping to get a cameo in the next Flash film, we may find out someday. Daniel Browning Smith, Rubber Boy. While most of us struggle to touch our toes, Daniel Browning Smith has made a career out of bending and twisting his body into unimaginable positions. Known as Rubber Boy, Browning holds 7 Guinness World Records for flexibility and contortionism, including the title of World's Most Flexible Man. His extreme flexibility allows him to bend forwards and backwards, and he can dislocate his arms and legs as well, and rotate his trunk 180 degrees in both directions. So you know when he says he'll bend over backwards for you, he means it. Rubber Boy can also contour his shoulders and ribcage in such a way that can drop his heart merely 3 inches below his sternum, making his heartbeat visible to audiences. As host of the hit TV show Stanley's Superhumans, Browning helped scour the globe looking for other remarkable superhumans like himself. He's also appeared in movies and television shows and is a well-known stuntman. His ability to wow audiences with his pretzel-like moves is caused by a rare collagen disorder called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, or EDS, which makes his joints and connective tissues extraordinarily elastic. For this reason, Browning is considered the most flexible person on the planet. Savisa Pagic, Battery Man. Human conductor Savisa Pagic has baffled scientists with his incredible ability to withstand high voltage without feeling a thing. Known as Battery Man or Sausage Sizzler, how's that for a superhero name? Pagic can also act as an insulator, conductor, and even heater, like the time he powered up a light bulb and cooked sausages using energy stored in his body. He was also able to conduct electricity long enough to heat a cup of water to about 97 degrees Celsius in under a minute. He pretty much sounds like the ultimate camping bud. What's also impressive is that Battery Man can store electricity in his body and use it when need be. He first discovered his unique power back when he was 17 years old, and a run-in with an electrical fence didn't even faze him. He set his first Guinness World Record in 1983, when 20,000 volts were pumped through his body, and he walked away completely unharmed. Isao Maki, Super Reflexes. Move over, cats. Your reflexes are no match for the freakishly fast handwork of Isao Maki. Japanese Aikido master Maki knows his way around a sword, holding several Guinness World Records, including the most sword cuts to strong mats in 3 minutes. He did 252. He's so quick, in fact, that he once cut a BB gun pellet in half that was traveling 200 miles per hour and sliced a beast ball in midair as it flew at him from 30 feet away at 100 miles per hour. His quick draw skills have also been tested on pea-sized vegetables and shrimp. So if the whole superhuman samurai thing doesn't work out, he could definitely have a promising career as a hibachi chef. His sensory powers are beyond anything anyone has ever seen from a normal human being. Doctors believe that his powers have little to do with visual processing and more about tapping into a different level of anticipatory processing, something this modern-day samurai has been able to do since childhood. What's next for this speedy swordsman? He's training robots to mimic his best sword stunts, but we're hoping he's secretly training an army of super samurai crime-fighting robots. Shakuntala Devi, human computer. Shakuntala Devi is a mathematical genius. Born in India, she has the natural ability to quickly calculate numbers way beyond normal human capability. But she was 5 and other kids her age were just learning to count to 100. She was exacting cube roots in her head. Unfortunately, her family was too poor to put her through school, so she began using her super skills to put on shows for universities and businesses throughout southern India, eventually becoming the sole earner for the family. She successfully proved her calculating chops on a number of tests, including the University of California, Berkeley, where she was asked to accurately calculate the cube root of 61,629,875. She even went head-to-head with a computer in a speed calculation race and won twice. One of the times she impressively figured out the 23rd root of a 201-digit number in just 50 seconds. Later in life, she found a new love for numbers with astrology. She would travel around the world performing readings in hotel rooms where clients would provide a date of birth, time of birth, and birthplace, and she would answer 3 questions about their lives. Now, if only we could all be human calculators, avoiding awkward situations while dining with friends, like kind of figure out what everybody owes, could be totally avoided. Natasha Demkina, X-ray vision. Ever since Natasha Demkina was 10 years old, she claims that she could see through people's skin and into their insides. In Russia, she is nicknamed the girl with X-ray eyes. She may not have a cool superhero name, but what she does with her so-called powers is very superhero-like. With her X-ray vision, she is able to perform medical diagnosis and potentially save lives. Of course, not everyone is a believer. In 2004, the Discovery Channel teamed up with the Committee for the Scientific Investigation of Claims of the Paranormal and the Afflicted Commission for Scientific Medicine and Mental Health to put Demkina's power to the test. She was asked to correctly diagnose 6 test subjects, who each had a different medical condition. Demkina was handed 6 test cards, each with a description of a target medical condition, in English and Russian. She was even provided with anatomical drawings so she knew what to look for and where to look for it. She was able to correctly match 4 of the 6 test subjects, which unfortunately wasn't good enough to convince the scientists to proceed with further testing. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, Natasha Demkina continues to attract a strong group of supporters and is still performing medical diagnoses using her so-called X-ray vision to this day. Theo Thaolin, Magneto Man. Most of us are familiar with X-Men's anti-hero Magneto and his ability to manipulate magnetic fields in metal. Well, up until a few years ago, we had our own master of magnetism walking amongst us normies. Theo Thaolin had the amazing ability to make metal objects weighing up to 2 kilograms each and up to 36 kilograms total magnetically stick to his skin. However, scientists who study Lin's super ability say it wasn't caused by any source of magnetism, but rather his skin exhibited very high levels of friction, providing a suction effect. Lin first discovered this power when he was a construction worker and his tools started sticking to him. From then on, he would hang many metal objects to his body, like hammers, saws, iron, kitchen utensils, and more. But his most famous stunt was when he pulled a 1.5-ton car for 20 meters, using only a metal plate stuck to his body. And like any good superhero, Lin also used his powers for good, performing in various charity events, including one for disabled children where he pulled a 10-ton bus using a chain for 3.4 meters in less than a minute. Oh, and he was 76 years old at that time. His superpower also appears to be genetic, as 3 of his sons and 2 of his grandchildren have it. Michael Lotito, Mr. Edon. Michael Lotito has an unusual ability. He can eat anything, and we mean anything. Since 1966, his diet has included things like bicycles, supermarket trolleys, 7 TV sets, 6 chandeliers, 2 beds, a pair of skis, a computer, a coffin, and his most famous meal, a Cessna airplane, which took him 2 years to finish and landed him in the Guinness Book of World Records. That's equal to nearly 9 tons of metal over his lifetime. His strange eating habits started as a child. He suffered from pica, a mental disorder in which people compulsively eat dirt and plastic and other non-food items. At 9, he ate the family's TV set. In his defense, those Cadbury Flake commercials of the era had many people practically licking the TV screen. Once he started experimenting with more dangerous items like nails and glass, he realized he had a gut of steel, and that his extremely thick lining of his stomach and intestines allowed him to eat and digest virtually anything, even poisonous material, and never get sick. Ironically, bananas and hard-boiled eggs make him queasy. Mr. Eat-All, as he was famously nicknamed, passed away of natural causes in 2007. I think the real superpower here, though, is that he managed to poop out a freaking air plant. The Unbreakables. Imagine being in a horrible wreck and walking away without a single broken bone. If this sounds like a plot to the movie Unbreakable starring Bruce Willis, you're right. But it's also the reality for one family who all have the strongest bones on the planet. Like in the movie, an unfortunate accident is what initially led to the discovery. The case of the car accident survivor was compared to another head-scratching incident where another man needed a hip replacement, but couldn't get one because nobody could screw the prosthesis into place. Turns out, the two men were related, and that their entire family line were a bunch of indestructible super beings. Scientists at Yale say the family carries a genetic mutation that causes high bone density, making their bones stronger than granite. The research team traced the mutation to an earlier study of the LRP5 gene, linked to osteoporosis, which causes the opposite effect, low bone density. Thanks to the discovery of this unbreakable family, scientists are in the process of using these findings to help develop a cure for osteoporosis and other diseases that cause brittle bones. Liam Hoekstra, Baby Hulk. Liam Hoekstra's origin story reads similarly to a comic book superhero's. He was adopted at birth and had to overcome adversity, battling a variety of medical issues, and of course, just being different. Born in 2005, Liam Hoekstra wasn't your average chubby little child. He was a buff baby with very little body fat and who was impressively strong. At just 2 days old, Liam was already able to stand with a little bit of assistance. By 8 months, he was doing pull-ups and walking up and down stairs, and at 3 years old, Liam was able to lift weights and move pieces of furniture around the house. It was apparent that Liam was developing superhuman strength as well as surprising speed and agility, even going as far as punching a hole in the wall during a tantrum. Liam was diagnosed with a very rare condition called myostatin-related muscle hypertrophy, causing reduced body fat and increased muscle size. Basically, you get a ripped bod and washboard abs without ever having to work out. Plus, you get to eat anything you want and never gain weight. Is there really any better superpower to have? These are just some of the people we know of born with real superpowers. Who knows how many more could be out there? I mean, a gifted telepath could be recruiting superhumans as we speak, putting together the ultimate super crime fighting task force. Until then, you can enjoy watching amazing people do weird and wonderful things right here. Your superhero adventure is just a click away. Thanks for watching.